Hey crafty cuties, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to make some Happy Mail and I'm going to bring you along the process and not really go into detail too much because I did get this original idea from Nick the Booksmith, and she originally made kind of like a junk journal folio pouch thingy and I'm going to have her video linked below because again, that's where I got the inspiration from, that's where I got the idea, but I didn't follow her tutorial just because I was kind of lazy and I don't like following measurements, but I think mine is like kind of similar to hers. Alright, I'll briefly show you how I made mine and then we'll decorate it together. I did have some of this video kind of messed up, you're going to see in the middle here, but bear with me. There was no way I could fix it and I can't refilm it. So, we're going to move on. I had a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I cut it in half, so then I had two 6 by 12 sheets of paper. And I'm going to put those together like so that it becomes kind of a double-sided page. Then I took another 12 by 12. I cut that in half, but I also trimmed off 1 inch. So now I have two 5 by 12 pieces. I wanted that one to be just a little bit smaller. You can see that I just kind of folded those. I didn't score these at a certain measurement or anything like that. I literally just kind of played around with it and I folded the first pieces together so that it would kind of create an envelope type look. And then I took this second one that I wanted to have on the inside and I just folded those so that they would fit inside the entire little envelope folio. So the other thing that I wanted to create was a bunch of pockets, and so that was why I chose to have two pieces of paper together rather than one double-sided page. So you'll see how I create the pockets here in just a few. Alright, so I am going to start off by taking this page first, and I'm going to crease my folds so you can see that they just kind of meet in the middle with a little overlapping, if that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. I wanted to make this look more like an envelope than anything. So I'm going to do this. You can see there's a little bit of paper that shows through that has just that white strip there because it didn't, when I folded it, it did not meet up perfectly. Don't worry about that, or you can trim it off later. Okay, this is where the video got messed up and flipped around, and then I switched all of the video clips to my iPad, so I could not flip it around to be the right orientation. So sorry, this is kind of annoying, but you can see everything I'm doing and it will switch back to the normal orientation real soon here. Okay, so I went ahead and I wanted to sew on a button because this is going to be my closure. So if you can see, I'm just sewing that through one layer of the paper because I didn't want this string to show on the inside. So I just sewed that on with some string, I think it was a waxed linen thread, so it's pretty strong. And then I can go ahead and put those back together, and I'm going to sew this together. So I just took my sewing machine. I am sewing a little bit of lace on the top flap. You'll see it again as I bring everything together. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I also sewed in a piece of that waxed linen thread. I must have lost a clip because I swear I showed it, but you can see there's that piece of waxed linen thread that is coming out of the top flap. That's going to be what is going to wrap around that button to be the closure. And I'm just sewing all the way around. I'm also sewing around each section. So if you can see, when you have it folded into thirds, you have 3 sections. And I'm folding around each section because I wanted to, like I said, create some pockets. And so I sew around 3 edges of each side. I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm sorry, I'm sick and I got my baby here and I keep having to redo these voiceovers. So here we go. Now we're sewing around the side that has the button, and you know what, I think I actually sew around all 4 sides of this one because I wasn't going to create a pocket out of this. And a lot of people ask me what tension I have my sewing machine set at, and do I use any special needles for sewing paper. I don't use any special needles, and my tension, I believe, is like, it's somewhere right in the middle. I believe the number is 2.5. I never changed that tension, and I've never had an issue with it. Okay, so anyways, here we go. I am going to use this scalloped circle punch to create some little like notches, because again, I'm going to have a pocket made out of these pieces as well. I'm using some scissors here to create kind of a bigger notch on that middle part, because it's going to create kind of a folder. I could have traced around something that was circular to get a perfect shape, but I don't really ever care about perfect, and it ended up looking just fine. So I'm just kind of like making sure this makes sense before I go on to sewing around the edges here. So I went ahead and I did sew all of the sections off camera on that piece as well, because again, this is not a tutorial. I'm just kind of showing you an overview of how I made it, and then we're going to get to decorating. So now I went ahead and I glued that piece right on top to that first piece. And now it can fold all together nicely. So now we can decorate. I have some folders and I have some little pockets, and now I thought it would be fun to create a little flip. So I'm just kind of marking where I need to trim this piece down. I was using a lot of scrap papers for this. So I'm just going to cut this piece off. It fit perfectly for that section, and I'm just going to simply fold this over to create a very simple hinge so that it can flip down, and I will have more space to add some goodies or just have some decoration, as you'll see when I decorate this. And I did decide to go ahead and sew this piece on. So Arlo keeps sneezing because she just got my cold. And luckily we weren't sick at the same time, I suppose, but it's just never ending. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and you'll see just very simply sew down this spot here. The reason I really like using my sewing machine for paper is because it's so much more durable than glue. I also love the look, so that is a huge part, but the reason I first started using my sewing machine was just because I loved making shaker cards and they would always come apart, and a sewing machine is like, your pieces are never going to come apart. I mean, at least I haven't had that issue. So now I'm getting to decorating. I just had this laying around next to a pile that I kind of like half worked on, and I was creating some DIY library cards for a video, which I never got completely filmed. But I decided to just finish that off and glue it together. I will have a video coming soon for those DIY library cards. I have an older video making them, but I have some new ideas, so stay tuned. I wanted the edges to look a little more finished off, so I'm taking my ink and blending that around all of the edges of this envelope thingy merbob. I feel like I remember Nick the Booksmith also had a funny name for hers. It was like, I think it was like a pouch thingy or a junk journal folio pouch thingy. I think that's what it was. Anyway, so I inked up all of the edges, and I decided to put my library card right here in the middle, but then I was like, oh wait, I should ink these edges up first. So I did that really quick. And then I'm going to decorate the library card. So I'm just grabbing some of the ephemera that I wanted to include. So I did use a little bit of ephemera to decorate, but then I also used some of it to just give her and like put into the pockets, because I really wanted her to be able to use a lot of what I was sending. So as I go along, I'm just kind of like testing things out and seeing where things fit, seeing what would work good for, you know, a decoration. And you'll see that I use a lot of washi tape to hold some of the things down too, because that way she can also easily take it off. I need to order some more blank shipping tags. Like, they're just manila shipping tags, but man, I love them and I am all out. I punched some tags and I'm going to put those in this little section here. I have that layaway tag On the right hand side, which I just had in my stash, these are just some tags that were punched from really pretty scrapbook paper, and I'm putting those in the middle. While you do have quite a bit of room to stuff this, I feel like you can't add too many things. I could have easily added kind of like a spine on all of the pages, or sorry, not pages, but like flaps, and that would have given us more room, but I didn't do that. Or I could have made it more like expandable, but again, I didn't do that. Okay, I used that little glassine bag and I just put some embellishments in there. I kind of wanted everything to have a little surprise in it. These are just some pretty scrap pieces of fabric. They're small, but they're things that you can definitely use in embellishments. I had some washi tape. I put that inside the envelope, and then I can put that envelope inside one of the pockets or little areas. Okay, so here I'm going to actually just take washi tape, like I mentioned earlier, and washi that on. She actually sent this washi tape to me, so I thought it was kind of fun to use in the project that I was sending back to her. So, you know, washi tape doesn't always hold well, but it should hold up until it gets to her. And again, the whole point is I want her to be able to like use that little envelope. So now I have these little cutout scrap pieces of paper. They're kind of like journaling cards, and I'm just going to simply use a paper clip to add those on. I'm just kind of seeing how everything fits together because like I didn't want to overstuff it so that it could not shut. I have this little envelope with a card, and I wrote her a note on the inside of that, and I'm just going to put that. I think I end up putting this on in a different spot, but it's just kind of fun to have a spot for everything, and I keep closing this the wrong way. I don't know why. I was just having trouble putting it all together, I guess, but here I am again, just kind of testing it out. So here I didn't sew the very middle part together on that first strip, if that makes sense. So I actually had a huge area that I could also stuff some things, which I do. I had some fun little post-it notes that I just taped on right there on that right-hand flap. I have some blank library cards and guest checks that I wanted to include. So I'm going to put those in that bigger middle area, which I didn't sew shut. And I have the little guest check peeking out so that she can actually know like something's in there. So again, I'm going to use a little bit more washi tape so that these post-it notes will hopefully stay down at least long enough until it gets to turkey. So now I am wanting to create a little area for those journaling cards that I previously had put down with a paperclip, and I had this pre-made wallpaper like pocket, and I got it from the Magnolia Seed. She actually sent me a bunch of Happy Mail, which I have a video for. So that was really nice to have something in my stash that was already made, and I was just able to use it, and I feel like it adds a lot of character to this final project. I went ahead and added a little bell onto the closure string here just for some little jingle. It would have been really cute to actually add some charms. I didn't have any nearby, but that would have been really cute to do if you were doing something like this and sending it to a pen pal, because again, they can just cut that off and actually use it in their crafting. I just wrote a little message that had my name on it, and again, I am washi taping this onto the back, because if she wants, she can actually just take everything out and reuse this entire envelope folio thing, and she could probably put it in a journal if she wanted. I made a final quick tag and put it in one of the spots that I didn't have anything in. And again, just kind of making sure that everything fits. And here you can see it is all complete and all stuffed for her. I hope this video was in some way helpful. Again, you know, it wasn't a full tutorial, but if you do want to make something like this, I definitely hope you will check out Nick's video since she has measurements. From what I remember, I hope I didn't remember wrong, but either way you can check her out if you haven't already. And maybe you got some inspiration for how to decorate yours. And I hope that she enjoys it. It was really fun to make. And I hope that you guys have a lovely day. Thank you so much for sticking around and not worrying about all the baby noises in the background, because she's my sidekick and she's making really funny noises. I wish you could see her little facial expressions. If you want to see more videos with her, you can check out my vlog channel, which is We're Cool Fam. I don't get to post on there very often, but I do as often as possible. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.